The holidays are quickly approaching, and whenever we hit this time of year, I start to panic a little bit inside because of all the things I know I have to do and the events that are coming up. It just is a time of year where there's a lot of chaos, and I don't like that. I want more chill, relaxing vibes. I want to be able to focus on what really matters at this time of year and not be overly stressed. My method for doing that is to have a plan in place. So today I want to take you along with me as I sort out my 2024 holiday planning. I'm going to share my tips, the tools I use to do all that. And one of those tools is today's sponsor, Akiflow. Akiflow is an AI powered time blocking tool that I've talked about in the past, but this is the first time I'm using it for holiday planning, and it's going to be so handy. You're going to see. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I did put some garland on my mirror just to give it a little festive touch. Also going to light this candle because why not? Ah, look at that, so festive. Holiday mug is also here today. It has water in it, to be quite honest, not coffee. Sometimes when I'm filming these videos, my mouth gets dry, but either way, we've got a bevy, we've got ambient lighting, we've got cute decor. I'm cozy in my office chair. I'm ready to get some planning done. One of the planning methods as a student that I've carried with me into adulthood is the idea of a brain dump. And a brain dump is really helpful for helping remove all of the things in your head, all of the ideas, all of those like instinctual thoughts that come into your mind of like what you want to do this holiday season. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll just sit down and spend like 10 minutes. You can even set a timer because we all know I love a 10-minute timer. I love like time constraining activities to make them less overwhelming, because this really isn't a task that will take too long, but the impact is so grand and so important. So I don't think it's smart to skip this step, but just use that time to list everything and anything that comes to mind of things that are going to need your attention this holiday season. Obviously, as a student, this was so helpful because there's so many different like tests and assignments and exams and classes that you have going on at the same time that it's impossible to rely on your brain to keep track of it. But having that master list was always really helpful for scheduling. As you can see, I've already started my brain dump. This is on Microsoft To Do. We've got things like crochet a holiday project. I really want to do something in the crochet world that embraces the Christmas season. Last year I did little crochet Santa hats on top of my crochet chickens, but I want to take it a step further. I want to level up the skill this year. I want to create my own ornaments and do some DIY wrapping paper and cards. I did the wrapping paper technique last year with craft paper and I painted it and made some cool designs. I want to do that again this year, but with some new designs. Every year I bake certain holiday cookies like gingerbread and sugar cookies, but I would like to challenge myself to also make a new cookie this year. We'll see if I have time for that, but at least I want to make my traditional ones, gingerbread and sugar. Of course, I've got to decorate the Christmas tree. I also need to decorate the rest of my apartment for the holidays. Both of those are going to be videos, so stay tuned for those. I need to shop for Christmas gifts. I need to wrap Christmas gifts. Now, a lot of these tasks on this list are less for me. They're more about, you know, the holiday season, but they're not also addressing my self-care needs and things I just genuinely want to do. And I think that's really important is when making your holiday plans to also make sure you incorporate things that you truly want to do, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to have an enjoyable holiday season. And I think part of that is prioritizing the things that make you feel good, seeing the people that make you feel good, spending this time of year indulging in the things that you may not normally make time for. And yeah, I think it's a great time of year to even like indulge in play. So like I want to have a puzzle night. I also want to have a Christmas movie marathon. That's where I'm at for now. Obviously this list is going to keep going on throughout the season, and that's the idea, is that this can be a spot, a destination for me to just get that thought quickly from the brain onto paper, and then I can almost give myself permission to release that worry about, oh, how am I going to get that done, because that's part of the next phase. I've got my laptop right here in front of me. I love a time blocking approach when creating my schedule. I think it's so much more convenient and easier and more productive to focus on one type of task for a chunk of time rather than spending my day flip-flopping between a million different hats. Akiflow makes time blocking so much easier for me because it talks with all the different digital tools that I love using, like Google Calendar, Notion, Microsoft To Do. It integrates with those platforms and it pulls information from them so that I can go to one spot, my Akiflow dashboard here, and know that everything, all the information I need to create a schedule that's right for me is there and available to me. As you can see in my inbox section, it's already pulled all of the information that I added to Microsoft To Do into this inbox. It also has pulled stuff from my Notion, like content that I want to do for this holiday season. I feel like it'd be really great to do some holiday mocktails. I mentioned decorating with me for the holidays, creating Kobo and Kindle e-reader covers. Now my holiday work tasks, I don't feel the need to be separated here, but I do want to set aside or differentiate between my personal tasks and my holiday tasks, just so that I can quickly see like where I'm at with my holiday planning. So in my project section, I'm going to add a new project. This project is going to be called Holidays 2024. I'm going to change the color to red because that just feels appropriate. And then I can easily click to my holidays list and see those tasks in one spot. I can add new tasks like brainstorm holiday game for Xmas, because we always like to have some sort of activity to do during Christmas with the family. Now my calendar already has some things slotted in, some things that are just permanently slotted in, like a fueling my body session so I remember to eat lunch in the middle of the day because I'm bad with that during the weekday, and content planning in the morning, which is how I start all of my work days. But there's still space in the schedule that I'll leave for more of my work tasks. Even though it's early, I think it actually might be a good idea for me to start getting some DIY holiday cards out of the way, because those are things that can feel a little overwhelming to do as we get closer and closer to the crazy festivities. So the DIY card session would be a good Saturday activity because it's also creative, and I think it's like a fun weekend thing to do. I'm probably gonna need 2 hours to do that though. What's handy is I can click into each of these tasks and actually add some more context or a description to them. I want to do watercolor art. It could be fun to do like a little like festive street design. We'll see. That's why I put the question mark. And if I don't know a specific task I want to do, but I know I want to dedicate a certain amount of time to doing some sort of holiday activity, I can just go to the project itself and drag it into my schedule too. And I can easily lengthen or shorten the time block. Having a list of to-dos is great, but having it actually scheduled is what I think takes it to the next level. So I can now go through for the rest of the month and into December and slot these into different dates I think it would be the most applicable. Probably will only take me 10 minutes to kind of filter all these into the schedule, but it'll be so helpful for me to have some sort of plan in place for how I'm gonna get these done practically. If you wanna try Akiflow out for yourself for your holiday planning or just regular life planning, then click the link in the description box below. We need a sip of water right now. Everyone definitely has a different approach to holiday gift giving, and although we say that obviously it's not the point of this time of year, you know, the gifts aren't what matter, I do think inevitably all of us, or many of us, end up having a lot of energy spent and drained from the idea of like what to get people, how much to spend on people. Even if you're going down the DIY route and you're getting crafty, that requires a lot of work and time management. So I'm gonna show you how I have and plan to manage all of that on Notion. Holiday Gift Guide 2024. And down below that, I'm going to add in a database, and we're gonna create a table to keep track of everything that I need for every person that I'm giving a gift to this year. So I'm gonna delete this tags property because I don't think it's super relevant for a holiday gift guide, but I am going to add a status tab. One is going to be called Not Started, the other is going to be called Brainstorm. I'm also going to have one called Purchase and another one called Wrapped. Beside that, I'm going to have a budget, so I'm going to pick the number property and write budget and change the format to Canadian dollar. Another number property, but this one's gonna be called amount spent. I'm just gonna put a fake entry in here so that you can see though, there's a calculate row that appears at the bottom when I drag my cursor there. So for the budget one, I'm gonna have it calculate sum and also do the same for amount spent, so that as I enter properties here, it'll automatically add the total so I can see quickly, am I under or over budget? And then obviously in the to tab, I can write down people I'm buying gifts for. So I can be like mom, dad, brother, yada yada yada. I'll add to that list as I start doing this for myself. For each person that I have on this list, I can open it up and I'm gonna create a template for extra planning for that specific person. So the first section here I'm gonna write is ideas. Kind of self-explanatory, ideas I have for this person's gift. I'll put a divider line here, and then below that I can have a gift tab, and I'll just add like a little table here where I can write item, link in case it's something I bought online, and amount spent. Then I can change the status from not started to brainstorm. I'm gonna add a little festive image at the top here to just give it some warmth. This ends up being my lifeline when it comes to figuring out what to get people. I definitely don't see the value in allowing myself to get stressed out about gifts whether it's something I'm shopping for or making, whether it's baking or crafting. Like, I just don't see the value in that. But I find that when I'm not taking that time to prepare, that's when I get more in my head about it. So I encourage you that if you've ever found this aspect of the holiday stressful, to try an approach like this where you really take a step to properly brainstorm ideas for people. Schedule in online window shopping days. So instead of like physically going out into stores, which can be time consuming, you can dedicate an hour to perusing a lot of different stores online for different ideas, and then using that to kind of form your list. Now, I know I touched upon this at the beginning of the video when making my holiday to-do list, but I do want to emphasize to both you and to me the importance of making sure that amidst all this holidayness and work life and personal life still, you know, thriving, you know, it feels like a busy time of year because all this extra stuff is coming onto our plates while regular life still has to go on, that it's so important for us to still prioritize the things that make us feel good. I know for me that is, and I've talked about it a lot before, meditation, journaling, moving my body, even reading. Like, these are things that make me feel more like myself. But inevitably, when there is a lot of things going on, we're looking for things to cut to make ourselves feel a little less overwhelmed, or to just even have time for these things that we feel like we need to dedicate our time to. And that can mean we get kind of punished for it. We take those things that we know make us feel good and say, hey, maybe not today. Maybe I won't work out today. I'll save an hour and do something else. Or maybe I won't meditate because I gotta get right into work. I think that's also part of the reason why so many of us hit January just feeling like, oh, I need to be done with holidays. I need to get back into a routine and get back on my healthy habits, because we've been almost depriving ourselves of them during that period of time. My encouragement for you and for me is not to do that this year, to really make sure those things are at the forefront of your schedule, and find other things to cut if you can, because I think when you go into the season still kind of keeping up with the things that make you feel good, you end up just having a more enjoyable season in general. How do you stay organized during the holiday season? I want to know. Let me know in the comment sections down below. Also, a big thank you to Akiflow for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to, as a reminder, to click that link in the description box below to give it a try for yourself. We've got lots of great holiday content planned for you guys this year, lots of fun DIYs and activities, so stay tuned for that, and hit subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on any of the fun. I'll see you guys soon with a new one, and until then, ciao!